Hi guys, welcome to the Lore Studios. Let's wrap up the uploading media file to server using Retrofit. This time we're talking about how to upload the PDF file, which stands for the portable document file, to the server. We're going to actually be using a couple of libraries, two to be precise, to actually get this done. So let's get started. Head straight to Android Studio. Before I go straight to Android Studio, I would like to tell you this. If you are hitting this video for the first time, please take a peek backwards to get yourself acclimatized to the architecture surrounding this flow. I would like you to look at the image upload and also the video upload, because that's where we get to talk about the PHP file and as well the method that actually helps to push this to server using Retrofit. So after you might have gone through that, it will just take you a few minutes. You could get yourself entangled with this particular session. Right there in Android Studio, we have the structure of this project, but I'll be looking firstly at the build Gradle, where we included two dependencies. Firstly, is from the nbsp library. This actually helps with the material file picker, where we get to pick the right path. It's actually very cool. This is what we just need. We need to pick the right path. We need to pick the full path of the particular file. Since we are not actually using media files like audio, video, image, it's kind of really clumsy. But with this library, it's actually going to select the particular file, and you could streamline. You could also use this for different media type. You could use it for audio, video, or image. You could streamline the particular MIME type you're targeting. So with this, you can actually get that done. And we'll also be needing the PDF viewer for us to actually visualize the selected PDF from the picker. After you might have selected a PDF, we need that to actually visualize. If you're having more than 5, 10, 20 pages, it's actually going to align it in pages from the one to the end of the page in the PDF. So that's very cool. So I'll actually be showing you how we're going to actually interact with this library and get this done. In the PDF activity, that's where we have the layout, which is attached to this activity. I'll take a look at the layout before we get deeper into the Java class. In the layout, we have the PDF layout, where we basically have the GitHub, the PDF view, which is actually going to cover the whole screen of your activity. So you have it right there with the layout with night match parent, and where we're going to have the menu to probably select or to upload to the server. We're going to actually add that to the menu sub package, where we have the options.xml, where we have the pick file and the upload. We have that at the top bar, so it's actually going to be visible. We are not hiding it in the overflow, so it's actually going to make you select it from where you see it. Once you see this selection, you should know you're trying to pick something, and once you see this, you should know you're trying to upload to this. These are all material assets which are out of the box for you to use. From the rest, the vector assets, you could actually select that, and it gets you there. So from here, I head straight to the PDF activity. This extends the app compact, and you get to have the implement on page change listener. So when you're changing from one PDF page number to another, this listener keeps calling and calls on the unload complete listener as well, and the same time on page error listener. So these are the three listeners we'll be looking at right there in this course, and you need to override some of those methods there. We get to talk about the methods later on. Now in the view, you need to initialize the page number, start from 0. We have the PDF file name, the PDF view object itself. We have the progress dialog, the process of selection, and then the process of uploading to server. We have the file picker request code. This is an integer, static final integer assigned to the picker, and the PDF path, which we'll be needing. We'll get to look at how we will set values to these different variables created right there. In the onCreate method, you need to initialize the PDF view, call its appropriate ID, which is the full within the match parent of the width and height, which is the full screen to be precise, and you need to initialize the dialog to get the object rolling so that it's not going to return an up or interrupt exception. On create options menu, that's when we get to inflate the menu, which you see at the toolbar, the upload and select. We call them the options menu right there, and you need to override them on options item selected. This is just Android 101 when you're trying to create menu in your toolbar. And what you're going to do, we call on the pick file, which is for the to select the PDF file, and also the upload. At the point in time of click, this menu will be doing different actions. The first, which is the pick file, will launch the picker, while the upload is going to upload the file. Simple. Let's get to look at the launch. The first one, which is the launch picker. When you trigger the launch picker, it instantiates the material file picker. That's the library we included to actually give us the ability to select the core path to the PDF. And now you need to build this up. You start with the activity, which is this particular one. The request code, which is the integers, we've actually done that at the top. While you have that as an integer value, and with hidden files, you need to dig deeper, root out all hidden files from the directory so that they will be visible for you to select from. So you put that as true. And the filter, you could actually, this is very good. This is where we use the regex, the regular expression, to get the MIME type, which is going to be the end of the file. We could actually have in PNG. Perhaps you just want to select PNG alone, GIF, or JPEG, PDF. So we need PDF. So we're actually streamlining the search to PDF files. Don't give us a bunch of files that will start to get ourselves entangled with. Just give us PDF files and we're good to go. The title of the picker, select PDF file, and you start up this dialog. You start up this picker and say, oh, so it's actually going to get that done for you. After selection, you need to undo something, which is on activity result. Passing the request code, the result code, and the data, which is the data passed afterwards. So you get to test if the request code is what you expected, because you could actually declare different material picker for different actions. So you should know which particular action you're expecting and how to handle them. You get to do that on activity for results. And now the juicy aspect is when we're trying to get the full string path of the particular selected file. You get that just pointing your data, which is the intent, to the get string extra, which points down to the file picker activity, which is actually where you're coming from, and the result file path. This is out of the box from the library. Cool. And from there you get this full path, which is this, the string path, which is reusable, very usable. That's what we need. That's what you need to upload to server, and that's what you also need to display to the PDF viewer. Cool. Let's see how we're going to get that done. This is just a string path. We need to pass this to a file. We want to convert this to a file object by instantiating the new file. Pass that as the string path. We now have the file object, which will pass the display from file. We get to look at what this display from file is going to do. What it's going to do is actually going to get the PDF viewer set and ready and usable. We'll get to look at that later, but let's go further in the method. Now, if the path, that's the string path returned, is not equals to null, well, that's the full path to the file you selected. Now we get to pass this to the PDF path. That's just a string variable. Now the PDF path is usable. It's a string which is going to be used. So we're going to use this right there when you're uploading to server. Now the display from file is taking a file object to display that to the PDF view. That's the two actions that will be happening concurrently. Now let's get to look at the display from file. It takes a file object. We still need to convert the file to a URI. What you're going to do, you call the URI from file, you instantiate the new file where you pass the file itself, the file object, to get the absolute path. When you get the absolute path, it converts that to URI, and you could save that as a URI object over here. You can see as a variable right there. So it has a URI which you actually convert the file. You get the path, the absolute path from it, and convert that to URI. So that's what you could use to actually get the file name, because you need the name of the file. When you have the header of a PDF, it's very, very bad for you not having the name of the PDF you selected, and you want to know, probably I'm learning Android or I'm learning content provider. That's the name of the PDF. So you have that as the top bar, as the very, very top of the PDF, to actually know the particular file you're reading, or the particular PDF file you've selected. So for you to get that, you need to generate the name from the URI. Now you have a URI which is usable. Let's get to see how the URI has been, the name has been extracted from the URI. You have that right there, the URI, which is the get file name. This is going to get the scheme, which is equals to content. Since you are actually using a URI, it's going to have a content, not a file, not the file, a semicolon / /2 / Now it's going to start with a content, which you could use to query the content resolver, which is the SQLite database. Now you're going to query this, passing the URI null. You could pass null as the other parameters, and you try to extract the column index, passing the open column, which is the display name. The result is usable. From there you get the last part segment, which is the result, which is the string value of the result. So from there you could actually get the name, because you've been able to extract the string value. That's just what you need, the display name. Now let's go further. After you might have gotten the display name, you start up the PDF view, which from the file, the PDF could view from file, the library could view from file, it could view from raw assets, it could actually view from URI. So it's the PDF library could view from different implementation. It could view from the raw bytes. It could also view from URI, and even from the file object. Now you pass the file object, and you have the default page, which is the page number starting from 0. On page change, you trigger that. Enable annotation rendering. On load, on scroll change, you get to instantiate the default scroll handler to get that done, and you give some spacing in DPs. And when there's an error also, you catch that and you load up the PDF. So cool, the PDF is actually going to load for you. The process where you need to override those changes, you need to override the load complete method to get it fully loaded, to get the table of contents. And you need to also, you could also print the bookmarks, the tree, so if you really would need that. On page change, when you're scrolling from top to bottom, to the second to third to fourth page, it keeps changing the file name, which you have here as set title, and it keeps adding 1 to the file name. That's just it. Cool. With that, you have a concrete PDF view, which I'll be showing you in the screencast on how it actually looks. Upload file. From upload file is so simple. I've talked about this method. It's still the same method we used for image, for video, and now for PDF, because this method is quite robust. It could take any type of file, be it media file, be it non-media file. Very, very cool. And even the PHP file. That's why I said you should get yourself back to the 2 previous videos so you can understand how the PHP is, and even get yourself acclimatized with it. The PHP file is also very, very consistent. It could be usable for different type of media file and non-media file. So we still maintain the methods right there in the upload file, which you have the request body. You pass the file name. You get to pull that right there in the server response. The callbacks, you need to override the on response and the on failure. On response, you pass it, you get the message, which you have right there set up at the model. We've actually modeled that, the response we expected, and you toast that to the view that the upload is successful, and if not, that's a problem uploading this file. On failure, you also toast that gracefully to the user if there's a network problem or not. This for the dialog, where you're initializing the dialog. You show the dialog, and you you could hide the dialog. So you call these methods when you need them to show the dialog and hide it out. Since you've called the init dialog in the onCreate method, so it's not going to return a null. So that's just the entire architecture of how to get the PDF rolling. With this, very solid. You could upload any size of PDF, any length of PDF to your server, and this is just going to end the session of uploading media file and non-media file to the server using Retrofit in Android. That's a request that this could need this in Kotlin. I'll actually be working on that to convert all this implementation to Kotlin, so it's actually going to be useful for those needing that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me throughout the session, and I'll implore you to keep stay glued to Delaware Studios, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'll be uploading the source code to the GitHub, so you could actually get that, and I'll be sharing the link to the GitHub file right there in the description, so you could lay your hands on it. Thank you guys one more time, and bye bye for now.